everyone! I am finally back to making videos again. I've had a lot of life things going on. I know I've said that probably plenty of times before. But hopefully I am back for good. I'm going to try and start making some content in bulk whenever I have the time so that I don't ever leave you guys without a weekly video. That being said, today's video is on this crown, and it is just a very beautiful flower crown. It's not really a flower crown. I make it for my jewelry shop that I have here, and my friend calls it a halo. So, because they're very pretty, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just gonna call it a flower crown in the video because that seems to be, if you were to look it up, the most frequent thing that they're called. But this is just how I make them. So if you guys are interested in making these, which they're great for weddings, great for day-to-day, great for costumes, really depends on how flashy or how plain you make it. It's totally up to you. I will be making this one specifically with you guys today so you guys can see it step by step. So yeah, if you guys are interested, make sure you continue watching. Alright, so what you're gonna need is some wire. 22 or 24 gauge usually works really well. The style that I'm doing, you can do it without these. However, the ones that I'm doing right now include these little flexible vines for the extra embellishment, and you can do it in any color. Same with the wire, doesn't matter. We want some nice sparkly teardrop beads, some pearls. Again, you can use pretty much anything you like. I have quite a few, some bicone crystals. These are my bicone crystals in here. And you will need a measuring, some sort of measuring tool. Something that could be helpful is a ribbon measuring tool. I don't have mine right now, so this is going to work since I've already done mine, and I'll tell you the measurements you need, or the approximate measurements you'll need. If you're making it for yourself, it's easier just to measure your own head so that you get the right size. Always add a few, like an inch or so you know how much you need. All of my things I've pre-cut, so I have some gold, some green, and some silver. I think I'm going to do some silver today. And yeah, oh, and some cutters, some flush cutters. So as I said, I've done this many times before. I just decided I'd share with you guys. Something that is helpful is to draw out, take about half the size that you're needing, and draw out your pattern. You don't necessarily have to, per se. You can wing it. I did that for the first few times that I made mine, but it makes it look more symmetrical, more nice, because you know what you're doing. Feel free to play around, though, so that you can figure out what you like. The measurement that I have, this is my half. So half of the circumference is 7, so that means total I need 8. Wow. I need 14. So 7 following this design, and then in the reverse, mirroring it, you go the opposite direction. I hope you guys can see that. It's just a little, I'll show you whenever I start making it. You can be as ornate or as simple as you want to. You don't have to add a lot. It looks nice both ways. So literally anybody can make these. It is very easy. Okay. So whenever it comes to the wire, although I know I need, the end result has to be 14 inches, okay? You're gonna need a whole lot more than that, like maybe 3 times the amount of wire. In fact, I'll try exactly 3 times the amount so that you guys can, so that we can see if that's enough together. Now, if there's a time that you don't have enough, you can always add more wire in, and if that happens, I will be showing you that as well. So, as I said, I'm going to be doing the silver vine, which means I'm also going to be doing the silver wire. Now, you can technically mix and match anything you want. You know, this is your creation. You don't have to match me identically, but I will show you the approximation. So, let's see. That's about 14 right there. And I'm gonna just triple it. Alright, that's about triple. Now, something that will help your creations look better. See how this is all like bent up because it's on a roll? Just take any sort of material, a rag, a nice rag or something, or a t-shirt, and go over it to shine it up and straighten it out. You are going to want to try and keep your wire as nice as possible. If you've never worked with wire before, it can kink up, and with how many times we're going to be twisting the wire, it can snap. And I've had it snap on me several times in the past. You just gotta be really careful, and the thinner the wire, the easier it is to snap. So, this I'm using is 24 gauge. Hope you can see it. My camera doesn't really like to focus all that good. If you've seen any of my other videos, you already know that. I'm still looking for some suggestions for some good cameras that would work well for my type of videos. So if you know any, just let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, so we have this. What we're gonna do is you're gonna want to wrap it around one of your fingers. This is the very end of the wire. Okay. You literally just twist that around. You want to make sure that any sharp edges are cut off. Flush to it. And chain nose pliers work really well to help bend it in so that you don't have anything that's gonna cut you, or if you are planning on selling these, it won't cut your customers. Alright, so I'm gonna get my pattern here, and we're gonna be going the other direction because I like to work in that way. I don't know why I drew it the other way, but it doesn't really matter. All you have to do is flip it over. And you're gonna bend your first branch out. Let's see if we can zoom you guys in, if that will help. Okay, so you're making the first branch here. So you gotta, depending on what you have, like I have like a pearl, a little, I'll show you how to make it, with these little teeny tiny pearls. I make a flower, a larger pearl or crystal, and a tiny vicun crystal, and then you just go from there. Alright, so let me decide what I want. Pretty much you can use whatever, doesn't matter. I think I'm going to make it little rice pearl. You just take it all the way down. Which these ones are, they're kind of tricky. So there's two different ways you can do it. I actually think I'm going to do it the opposite. Where you start at the very end. That can be kind of tricky, but I'm going to start with this really nice blue bicone crystal. It's very pretty, very shiny. It's going to be a blue and silver. Okay, so say about that far up. Push it all the way to the end, then you twist it a few times. Okay. And then next one would be little teeny tiny, they're almost like seed beads, but they're pearls. Take 5 of them. Get them on there. Sometimes they get stuck together. On there. There's 4, 5. Take it all the way down. You're gonna try and make a perfect little circle with them. Okay. That can be tricky, but when you do, it will make a little flower, like so. Push it tight and then you twist. Okay, twist that down. Twist that. And then you want to twist a little bit farther down the branch. A lot of wire to work with, so it can be kind of a mess. Twist the branch again. So far. Lastly will be the little tiny rice bead, rice pearl. Same thing. Take it all the way down. Bend it. Twist it. Twist the branch. Okay. Whoop. that is your first branch. Now it's a little long. Let me check real fast. On my template, this is something that's really good to do. So you can see, which actually it's just about perfect, if you can see that. It matches pretty perfectly. And then you will go to your next part, and you'll bend the opposite direction. I believe this one is just a simple purl. Like so. And then the next one, which I usually do pearl, crystal, something like that. You can also use metallic beads. I use those a lot. So I'm going to find something that matches this pretty blue in here. I think this one does. It's actually green, but it's got the shine effect that that one does. Alright. It down. Just like that. You go down again. It will be the opposite direction. And this will be a longer branch. The same as this one. First little bit. So you're going to want to continuously check it up against here to see how far you've gone. As you can see, I went a little bit off of my template. You don't have to be entirely precise. However, once you meet your middle point, especially if you're going to want a special divider, like I use a large pearl whenever I get to the middle point so that I can start going in the opposite direction. However, once you start going in the opposite direction, you are going to want to repeat exactly or as close to the other side as possible, mirroring it. So, and you don't really have to worry about how these are laying yet until you start wrapping it around your vine. So I am going to do the rest of this sped up, and once I get most of this done, I will start wrapping it around my vine, and I will come back to show you how I do that. Alright guys, I will see you here in a little bit. So, in the beginning, and you gotta be careful because this part has already been twisted, so it's very fragile. And this is one of the main parts that I've had break off on me in the past. So, what you want to do is wrap this around this on this part, but the rest, the wire will wrap around this. I'll show you what I mean. Okay? So take this, and hold this one still, and wrap this around it. Okay? Like that. And then the rest, the wire itself, will wrap around this. So instead of this being held still, the wire being held still, the vine is being held still, and the wire is being woven around it. What you're going to want to try and do is make it to where each one falls on the opposite direction. So like the first branch is going to go down, the second branch would go up, and third branch down, fourth branch up, and you know, that kind of an order. Once you finish, because I still haven't, this is just to this point, like I have still, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 branches left to go on this side. It is definitely too short, so I will be showing you how to attach more wire whenever I get to that point. But for now, I want to see how well this is looking. I like to do this about halfway through to make sure I like the progress. And I also want to make sure that I have enough wire, or enough vine to cover. Here at this part, I think I'm going to probably add on, let's see, how many do I have left in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 left branches, however I do have some pretty long branches, so I'm just going to take probably about an arm's length. And I haven't started the branch because I don't have enough. The thing about this one is that it's a long branch. So I'm going to have to attach it at the base. See, I bent it as if I was about to start another one. And I'm going to attach it at this base. Stay after I get to the wrapping it back down part, and it might be a little bit more bulky than I like. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes whenever it ends on a wrong branch. If it ended at a better length, then it wouldn't have been so bad. Anyway, so this is where my branch is now starting. It's a long branch, and so I am starting with my pretty bicone crystal. Make sure I have enough room for all my branches. do it the same way you would do it any of the other ones, which is you just make the branch. Whenever you get down to this twisted part, though, you gotta make sure you go back over it. So it will be a little bit more bulky, but you want to make sure it's nice and secure. So you will wrap this wire back around it. Sorry guys, I know I'm so bad at staying in frame.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, baby.
What are you doing? Hi, Mom.
I'm making something, baby.
What are you doing, Nick?
I'm making something.
A cloud.
Mm-hmm.
For me? No. For Mom. No. For Dawson. No. For you. No.
Guys. Mommy's busy, please. Get out.
For you.
Alright, so what I kind of expected was going to happen did happen. Do you see how this came apart? That can happen sometimes. I'm going to have to retwist this around and hope it stays long enough so that I can put this last supporting wire on it. I have to try and do that now because I'm so close. I have to put, let's see, what's the next? My tiny Daikon crystal. Oh well, out. Just with how much turning and twisting this does, it just can be really difficult sometimes. I hate whenever I don't have enough wire, so you just have to really try and get your measurements right. It's difficult whenever you make several larger branches. If I had all smaller branches, I would have had enough. But that's okay. Alright, so I've gotten to this point, and I'm going to twist this around this. Gotta put my last one on there. So I have it all wrapped, and this is the point where you just touch up anything that isn't how you want it. So as you can see, this is my middle point, and it is almost even. This side's a little longer. That can't really be fixed, but you just situate all of this stuff. Like I said, I normally just bring everything forward. Make sure it keeps doing the opposite. Something needs to be twisted. There we go. Should look same on both sides. You can definitely be more picky or less picky. That's up to you. Go through and find any of these sharp bits and you can cut them off. and tuck them in with some pliers. That is how that looks. Now lastly, you want to kind of shape it into a semicircle, and I use ribbon to take some ribbon, and what I'll do is, if you can see this little frayed edge, I'll usually just take some heat and make a nice edge. Now all we have to do is fold that in half, stick it through this side, and stick it through the other side. I wish I had a mannequin head for this, but normally all I do is I'll stick it on my head and then I will tie it. So I'm just going to tie. Just like that. Inside. And it's a finished flower crown, halo, whatever you want to call it. It's a really easy thing. You could definitely use it for a costume, or day-to-day wear, or wedding, or because it's your world, do what you want. So that's that. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave me a like. If you'd like to see anything in particular, let me know down in the comments below. And subscribe for more content like this. I'll be seeing you guys later.